Today on Carcass, we break some glass, add some safety to our Baja bug, and give it a new sound.
This bug is getting some style out back, up top, and in front. This thing is gonna look awesome by the time we're done with it.
When you want to build something different, you turn to these guys, Jeremy Wutman and Jimmy King. Jeremy was raised in Minnesota building street rods. He's a builder, fabricator, and welder. Jimmy grew up in Nevada, working in his dad's garage building cars. He's a mechanical engineer, builder, and fabricator. They take left for dead rides and transform them into one-of-a-kind builds. If you can dream it, they can build it. This is Carcass, a non-traditional speed shop.
This is our office, a 50,000 square foot warehouse that is also home to 3 other shops.
And it's where we spend most of our time working on projects, like this UTV Baja bug.
We picked up this Can-Am X3 in Kentucky, and it had some minor cosmetic damage, but that didn't stop us from taking it out on the short course, where we slid around some corners, got some air, and wouldn't you know it, we even rolled this thing over.
And we picked up our Volkswagen bug locally here in Tennessee from a guy who likes to collect cars. We brought both of these projects back to the shop and got right to work.
We tore out the interior of the bug and made quick work of separating the body from the chassis.
And we got a good look at the nuts and bolts on the Can-Am after we ripped off all the plastic. Jeremy and I thought it looked really cool, so we took it out for a spin one last time.
When we were all done having our fun, we sliced the top off the Can-Am, lifted the body free from the bug chassis, and slid the UTV into place.
With a little bit of shuffling, we were able to squeeze the bug body over the UTV, giving us the first look at this unusual combo. But to be honest, it looks right at home.
You know, Jimmy, there's so much more headroom in here now that we cut the top off the side-by-side.
Yeah, and you know what? With the new cage, if we use the tube roller and contour the body really well, there's gonna be more room everywhere, and I think it's only gonna take us a day to build.
Yeah, we got 2 really good pads to start with when we build. Now that we cut the old cage off, we got a really good pad in the front, and we got a really good pad in the back.
That's about the center.
Before we started the cage work, we found the center of the Beetle body. And then we grabbed the cheater and we found the bend angle of the rear hoop.
All right, I think 70 degrees is gonna work. Jeremy, can you mark that for me?
Yeah. And you know, Jimmy, not everybody knows what a cheater is.
Funny you say that, because I happen to have one in my pocket.
Convenient.
The cheater is used to help find the location and bend angle of a tube in your roll cage. To make a cheater, we took an 18-inch long piece of tubing and marked it every inch for 10 inches. We then put the tube in the bender and bent it to the angle we needed. As we were bending it, we marked it every 10 degrees. Those inch and degree marks help us determine how much tube is used per 10 degrees of bend angle. This represents the rear hoop of our roll cage. This center mark is the center of the bug body. This is the reference mark of our cheater. This is about where the end of the bend is, and this is the base plate of our Can-Am. Using our cheater, I know that 70 degrees equals about 5 3/4 inches of tube, and we estimated that from the end of our bend to the base plate is about 12 1/2. And we leave this long on purpose just so we can trim it and cut it to fit. All of these measurements are only half of our rear hoop, and that equals 37 3/4 of an inch. Now, we double it to get the whole rear hoop, and we get 65 1/2 inches. The first bend is pretty easy. You just throw the proper length of tubing in the bender and hit the desired angle. It's the second bend that takes a little more experience to get right. Both ends of the rear hoop need to be parallel, so using an angle finder can make that happen. Hey Jeremy, can you help me measure something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Can you take that angle finder and measure the angle this sits at? Because I got to figure out the cuts I need to make to let it sit on the base plate.
What does that read?
It looks about 40 degrees.
Perfect. Well, you get that cut, then we'll go ahead and start working on the side hoops. With the ends of the tubes cut, we're gonna use the belt sander and just kind of sneak up on this angle. Now we wanna make sure this fits absolutely perfect because this is gonna make the rest of the cage build go smoothly.
Our side hoops will match the curves of the bug body, giving us more room on the inside. We'll use the tube roller to make that happen. That's money. That's gonna be real easy to weld.
With those mounted to the rear hoops and the front mounted to the Can-Am's front plates, we can add some cross braces and then we're off to the races. It said braces and races.
Does yours fit?
Mine fits. Yours fit?
Mine fits.
Cool. Well, we can't put these in. We got a couple things we got to weld up, right?
Yeah, we gotta weld the front crossbar in and then we can weld these in. So I say we take the body off and get welding.
Sounds good to me. Let's get the body off. With everything out of the way, it was time to strike an arc. TIG welding is two-handed by nature, so it makes it a heck of a lot easier to do it without the body in the way.
With the rear and side hoops burned in, we have a couple small pieces we have to add in for strength.
I cannot, my mind is not working right now. Do your thing. Just
What are you trying to do?
trying to get my mind back into the game here.
Nice.
How do I notch this without using that? But I can't, my mind's not here. It's gone. I think that's right. The worst I could be is wrong. Perfect. Man, did we accomplish exactly what we set out to do. Not only did we build a cage that's specific to this body swap, well, it also looks good and it's gonna keep the both of us protected.
We tied it into the strongest points on the frame. We added extra bracing, extra gussets. This 1.5 inch tubing is gonna do exactly what it's supposed to.
You know, the way that we bent these side hoops, you know, it fits perfectly underneath the Volkswagen body, and we don't even need to put that thing on here. It looks so good.
Well, while the body's still off, let's do the exhaust swap.
Oh yeah, that's out in the warehouse somewhere, right?
If we can find it. It's a big warehouse.
Next on Carcass, we carefully remove our glass from the bug.
Plus, how we make our Can-Am sound more intimidating.
You're watching Carcass.
We work in a 50,000 square foot warehouse, and finding the right parts can sometimes be like finding a needle in a haystack. Luckily, this go around, I beat Jeremy to the punch.
Aw, shoot, dude, you already found the exhaust system.
Yeah, I did, straight from Summit Racing.
I guess you don't need this big box then.
No, and to be honest, this is more of a one-man job, so what are you gonna do?
Well, I was kind of thinking about putting the bug body on a diet.
You're gonna pull the glass out?
Yeah, I guess I can pull the glass out.
Have fun.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm not tall enough to do that. One of many. Don't drop it. Nice. Oh, man. It's tough work. Holy Martha. Oh. I borrowed these tools from the guys next door in Detroit Muscle. Now, I don't know if it's the guy using them or the tools themselves, but this task has proven to be pretty challenging. Essentially, what I'm trying to do is separate the glass from the body, and that's held in with some like really, really strong goopy stuff. I think a pry bar can help me pop out the rear quarter glass, and if I get like 2 of them in there, I can kind of move them around and kind of help push it out so it comes out. But I gotta be really, really careful. Whoops. Now, since the first way to get rid of the glass took forever, we're gonna do the second one quite a bit quicker. And if I can find the right tool, the hammer will definitely make it happen. That was anticlimactic. Oh, trick. I'm gonna put a garbage can underneath. That way I don't have to clean up so much. Man, I wonder if Jimmy's got the exhaust done yet.
We're swapping out the exhaust on our Can-Am for 2 reasons. A, the stock exhaust system doesn't look that cool, and B, we want some power gains. So this new exhaust system from Summit Racing will check both of those boxes. Out with the old. I didn't even know this thing had O2 sensors. We have to take off the stock exhaust in sections all the way back to that tiny little turbo. And we're gonna have to make some modifications to the OE heat shield so it'll work with our aftermarket exhaust. But that's nothing that a cutoff wheel can't fix. Of all the places I could have chosen to sit down, I chose this comfy cardboard box that Jeremy left for me earlier. Why I did, I don't know, but it made the most sense at the time. Swapping out the exhaust is pretty straightforward. The V-band clamps and the worm gear clamps get reused along with the stock heat shield. Next, we add the aluminum mufflers. They add a little bit of flair and will make our side-by-side sound wicked. We have to button up a few things like the exhaust spring and the O2 sensor. After that, the stock outer heat shield can be reinstalled. Let's see how this thing sounds. Yeah.
Man, that sounds good. I can even hear the turbo.
You like it?
Yeah.
Coming up on Carcass, our Baja bug gets a go-fast look with some custom louvers. We combine the body of a Volkswagen Bug with the frame and drivetrain of a Can-Am X3.
Needless to say, our Baja Bug has gone through quite a transformation. We fabricated a killer roll cage that fits right underneath the bug body.
While we had the bug and UTV separated, we put the donor bug on a diet by removing all the glass.
Oh, drop it.
And we also added a better sounding exhaust to the Can-Am.
So ever since I carefully took the glass out of the back of the car, I've been trying to figure out what to do with the opening. Well, I think I got a pretty dynamite idea, and I cannot wait to show Jimmy.
Yes, there it is. Perfect.
Hey Jimmy, come and check this out.
Okay.
Check this out. So I've been trying to figure out what to do with the opening back here.
Yes.
Yeah, and these were
Yes.
sitting down by Detroit Muscle. I think we could pull this off.
Yeah, we could just make our own.
I think so. This is a little wide anyway, so instead of cutting it down, let's just go make our own.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, right? All right, let's go figure this out.
So we're looking at about 40 and a half
All right.
and 3.5 tall.
All right, so what about the bends? What's the measurement here and here?
For the top bends, 38 inches,
And then what's the bottom?
32 3/4 of an inch.
The way we give the louver its shape is with the measurements. The top edge is longer than the bottom edge. That way it gives us the 2 points to line it up in the brake.
Yeah.
The first louver fit perfectly. Now, the opening of our Volkswagen is a little bit narrower on the top and then it widens out at the bottom. So we're just gonna add 1/2 of an inch to each louver as we travel down. That's gonna give it a little bit of curvature and it should match the Volkswagen perfectly.
All of the bends in our louvers are about 45 degrees, but there's a little trick to it. After we complete the first bend, we have to take it out of the brake, flip it over, and bend it the opposite direction.
Oh yeah.
That's a good start.
That is a good start. You know, these things really did turn out amazing. For the little bit of work in the brake and the bender, they fit great and they follow the contour of the body.
I 100% agree, and to me, this thing just looks fast now, and I love it.
Up next on Carcass, we toss a whole bunch of accessories at our bug body.
But they won't all fit unless we find a way to make it work.
This thing is gonna look amazing when it's all done. Man, I gotta get back on those side panels.
Yeah.
Oh, and Summit Racing dropped off a box.
Oh, that's the roof rack. I gotta get that on before the end of the day. We have a lot to do by the end of the day, and taking a long lunch break did not help with that cause.
We have window deletes that we have to fabricate. We have a roof rack that we need to put on with custom mounts that need to be made. Plus, we're gonna put a whole bunch of lights on top of this thing.
By the end of the day, this thing will be back on 4 wheels and drivable.
Making a template is a necessity. It makes trimming down your piece on the shear a whole lot easier. Plus, it ensures that you're gonna have enough material if you have to move over to the bandsaw. And with a little left, you can always come back and sneak up to that perfect shape on the belt sander.
I unpacked our roof rack and it is perfect for this build, so I'm gonna get right to making the brackets to mount this thing to the roof. I cut 1-inch flat strap and rounded the corners at the belt sander. With 2 bolt holes punched in them, I can lay them out on the roof using the roof rack as a guide. That way I know exactly where they're gonna go. With a few holes drilled through the top, the brackets are ready to support the roof rack. 1/2-inch square tubing will be plenty strong for this application, and with them cut to length, our roof rack can be a permanent addition to our Baja bug.
While Jimmy finishes up the roof rack, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the scoops that we're gonna add to the window deletes. Our scoops are gonna fit in right along with our bug body, which means they're gonna have some curves. Once I get the 2-dimensional shape, I'll add the 3rd dimension using the slip roller. Using the newly made scoop as a template, we can cut a hole in the window delete to make room for our new scoop. Ooh, we're close here. Yeah, that's a little tight, huh?
Yeah, I think if you open up
That way.
the slot just a hair,
Okay.
we can kind of manipulate this to go in
I can see them off down there too.
where we want it.
Okay. I'll just clean the edges up. Trim that, we'll take it in. All right, one more. All right, this is the moment we have all been waiting for.
Lights!
It's like putting the star on top of the Christmas tree.
I think this is gonna be like the end-all be-all of a real retro Baja bug.
It's gonna be like a race bug.
We use the height of our lights to help us get the proper length for our cuts. The 1-inch tubing is then notched so it can all be welded together. You see that? That's our cameraman Wilson making his national debut. With a few simple brackets, we mounted the lights we got from summitracing.com with the hardware that came in the box. You the man.
This is gonna be like putting the cherry right on top.
Ooh, baby, we got a light bar.
This apparatus. Man, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Is that enough Baja for you?
Yeah.
Well, let's try the lights out.
All right, let's light them up. For more information on anything you've seen today, check us out on PowerNationTV.com.